Doctor?
Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga, still nigga, still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga, still nigga, still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. You wanna know what's more important than throwing away money at a strip club? Credit. You ever wonder why Jewish people own all the property in America? That's how they did it. Financial freedom, my only hope. Fuck living rich and dying broke. I bought some artwork for $1 million. 2 years later, that shit worth $2 million. Few years later, that shit worth $8 million. I can't wait to get this shit to my children. Y'all think it's bougie? I'm like, it's fine, but I'm trying to give you $1 million worth of game for $9.99. Turn a 2 to a 4, 4 to an 8. I turn my life into a nice first week release date. Y'all is still taking advances, huh? Me and my niggas taking real chances, Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga. Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga.
Doctor?
Light nigga, young nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, full nigga, house nigga, feel nigga. Still nigga. Still nigga.
Oh, oh. Let me get myself together. Let me get myself together. Get myself together for y'all. Hmm. Oh, how y'all doing on this Monday afternoon? Hope everybody is well. Hope everybody is good. Hope everybody getting their grind on. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying their Monday. It's your guy, Big Dog Bar, come straight out of Memphis 10 with another live. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing? Now, as y'all in the building, hit that like button. Likes are appreciated. Likes are always welcomed over here. Hit that share button. You know what I'm saying? Tell somebody, tell somebody come put their eyes on me. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,300 by the end of the year. I think I'm at 1,280. You know what I'm saying? So y'all help me get these 20 more subscribers or better before December 31st. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? If we don't reach the goal by the end of 2025, we'll start over January 1st, 2026. We're going to accomplish our goals. Oh, so before I get into the main topic, I think I'm getting through to people. I think I'm getting through to people. Not as far as social media. Like I'm getting it's building. Like I said, it's a slow process, but it's a process. You know what I'm saying? A slow process better than no process. So it's growing. You know what I'm saying? My reach is starting to grow a little bit on YouTube, on TikTok, on X, IG. Now that I'm taking my content a little bit more serious, my topics a little bit more serious. It's growing a little bit. I'm getting a lot of views. I'm getting a lot of views, people watching. You know what I'm saying? So it's growing. But I realize I'm reaching a lot of people in reality too. So yesterday, me and my wife, we go to the grocery store. You know, we gotta do our little grocery shopping, whatever the case may be. And we going up and down the aisles. And I end up going to the wine and beer section. Cause it was a recipe, well, it's a chili recipe that I'm making today. It's a slow cooker joint. So I ain't finna be up cooking a lot, but it's a slow cooker recipe that required a dark beer. And I was telling my wife the whole time, it was like, well, we just procrastinating bullshit, but by 12 o'clock, you know, we'll be able to go and get the beer with everything else. Cause I don't like, there's no sense in trying to go all across the city, just passing time away till 12 o'clock just to get a beer. So we end up passing time away. So we got close to 12. I end up getting the beer. Now the recipe called for either a Modelo Negra or a beer called Shiner Bock. I never heard of Shiner Bock, but that's what we end up getting. And I do say it's kind of good. And I used to be a heavy drinker, alcohol, beer. It was good. So while we were leaving out the wine and beer section, it was a guy that saw me and called my name. And I looked and I was like, what's up? What's going on? How you doing? Woo, woo, all that good shit. And he told me that I be saying some good shit. I be keeping it real. I be keeping it real. And I appreciate that. My wife, you know what I'm saying? She know what be going on, but she be like, that nigga don't be talking about shit. That nigga don't be talking about shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it be that shit that y'all be complaining about that you say women don't appreciate the shit a nigga doing shit like that. She know I be talking real shit. That's why it don't bother me. Cause after we came back from the store, I had to go get my son baby mama. She stayed by the Kroger we go to, so we had to go get her and bring her back to the house because she wanted to eat my wife cooking. My wife ended up frying some chicken and making homemade mashed potatoes, so she wanted some of that shit. So we had to go get her and bring her back to the house, so her and my son can kick it with their son and shit like that. So when we go get her, we come home, we start putting groceries up and shit like that. I drunk one of the beers and I was watching football, holding my grandson and shit like that. I just started getting sleepy. Now, it wasn't the beer that had me sleeping. I was just tired. I was just tired. I get up in the middle of the night and it hard me to go back to sleep. And sometimes I just go and get up and start doing shit. Or I try to go back to sleep and then I sleep too long. So I just was up and I got tired. And I told my son, like, hey man, come get him. Cause I don't know if I'm gonna fall asleep or not. So he got my grandson and they walked off into his room and I laid my ass down on the couch watching football. Then passed out. Now while I'm asleep, I hear a lot of cackling. I hear a lot of women talking. Not knowing that my mother-in-law and two of my sister-in-laws came over to my house. Now I'm on the couch sleep. They in the dining room. I'm in the living room. And they just he and ha ha and all that good shit right there. And I'm in and out of consciousness. I hear them talking and I go back to sleep and I wake back up. I hear them talking some more. I go back to sleep. All that good shit right there. Then I hear them talking about my content. I hear my wife telling my mother-in-law and my sister-in-laws that how the young man approached me in the Kroger and was telling me, how he respect my content, how I be kicking that real shit. And they were talking shit as usual. And I heard the shit and like they think I'm sleep. So I hear them talking shit and I don't be lying, do it. Cause all I'm hearing like how Big Dog talk a lot of shit, Big Dog stay talking shit, woo, 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 woo. And I'm sitting there like I don't be lying, do it. They can't never say I be lying. They can't never say I be lying. Even my son, baby mama, is 17. She told me when she got in the car, when we went to her house, I spoke to her mom and spoke to her dad. When she got in the car, I said something to my wife, and she said, I don't like the way you think. 17 then. She said, I don't like the way you think. And I had to tell my son, baby mom, I'm like, baby, when you write, you write. Regardless if you a man or a woman. If you write, you write. And I ain't got nothing to say when you write. But when you wrong, I don't care who you are, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. I'm not the type, just because I'm a man, to sit there and ride with men all the time. I can't do that. I'm not the type to ride with women for Scooby snacks. I don't do that. I'm not the pander. If you write, you write. If something you said makes sense, regardless of what you are, if what you said makes sense, I'm gonna ride with you. If what you said makes sense, I'm gonna ride with you. If what you saying don't make no sense to me, don't expect me to ride with you. I don't care. Don't, like I said not too long ago, you're not paying me to ride with you. So therefore, I say what I want to say. I ride with who I want to ride with when they right. It was a time when my wife said I was wrong because I wouldn't ride with her, regardless of the situation. I'm like, how can I ride with you when you wrong? Even though I'm your husband, I can't ride with you when you're wrong. She felt some type of way. I'm like, but that's how I feel. Same way I do with my brothers, same way I do with my sisters and any other family members. It's like I ride with you as long as you're right. But the minute you wrong, I'm like, count me out. Because I'm not gonna ride with you when you wrong. I don't care about how blood or what, how cool we are, what blood we share. I don't care. If you wrong, you wrong. And I can't ride with you. I love you. I still mess with you from time to time, you know what I'm saying? But if you want some bullshit, don't expect me to ride with you when you want bullshit. Holler at me when you get through with the bullshit. It actually has to affect me in my life to ride with your bullshit. It actually has to do something with me for me to ride on some bullshit. If it had nothing to do with me, I'm not riding. If I don't agree with it, I'm not riding. You can feel how you want to feel. But it felt good for a young man to approach me in the grocery store and tell me that he watched my content and that I be keeping it 100. It feel good. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. It feel good. It feel great. It's funny when the women that's in my life will sit there and say I ain't talking about shit, but can't say I'm lying. They can say whatever they want to say about my content, but they never say big dog lying. They might not like what I say because they women. And again, they don't have a problem when I'm riding with them. They ain't got a problem when I ride with them. They have a problem when I go against them. But I'm like, again, am I lying about some of the shit the women do? Nah, you ain't lying. They just don't want to hear it. And the same go with the men. Y'all ain't got a problem with me riding with you. I seen that before I started doing YouTube when I was doing Anchor. Y'all ain't got a problem riding with me when I talk crazy about women. I know that for a fact. But you got a problem when I talk crazy about niggas. Even the great Godfather, Kevin Samuels, when he was getting on niggas' heads, when he was trying to tell niggas how to be better niggas, y'all didn't like this shit. Y'all didn't start praising and glazing Kevin Samuels until he started calling women average at best. Now he the Godfather. Now he can't do no wrong. But when he was trying to tell niggas to get their shit together and be better men, we don't want to hear that shit. Tell you same rules apply across the board. So just to hear an individual tell me I'm kicking real shit, I appreciate that. Just to hear one of my son partners tell me he be listening to my shit and it's real shit, I appreciate that. I do. So to all my subscribers, everybody that watch me, they come in, whether you on YouTube, whether you on X, Twitch, or whatever the case may be, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for telling me that I be telling this truth. I appreciate y'all. I do. Now, something else that was on my mind. Well, the simple fact is that y'all know me and how I look at shit. Y'all know how I get down. Let's see what's going on. Pew. Oh, hold up. Excuse me. Let's see what's going on in the world and what I want to do. Oh, look. What's going on, Amina? How you doing? What was it? Oh yeah. Another thing is, over this past weekend, I was in a couple people chat rooms. I was on a couple people panels, and what I realized is with the whole red pill conversation, manosphere conversation, is this right here. Y'all literally setting up these young men to fail. And it took me a minute before I cut this mic on today. It took me a minute to think about some shit that I was peeping this past weekend, just listening to the conversations. Is that a lot of these guys that's in their 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, literally are setting up the younger generation of men to fail when it comes down to relationships in so many different ways. It's ridiculous. And I done said this before, it's the whole requirements. Now, what made me think about this shit again was is how the basketball scene in Memphis did my son after he left middle school, his whole high school career. And when he was in ninth grade, we were still coming out of the pandemic. But folks told my son in so many words he wasn't a basketball player. Now, mind you, he's been playing basketball since third grade. And he just finished whatever season he had left in eighth grade before the whole pandemic started. He just finished his eighth grade season. No, he finished his seventh grade season. My bad. I apologize. He finished his seventh grade season. They went to the playoffs, got put out in the first round. But even in his seventh grade season, his coach was like, they wasn't feeling my son. No, I mean, I'm the dad that's gonna always support my son, but I'm not the dad that's gonna tell the coach to need to play my son. I'm like, nah, I ain't that dick. It's like, all right, if you don't like what he doing, man, get on his ass. You got my permission. It's like, shit, do what you gotta do. 8 minutes away from whatever the case may be. Do what you gotta do. So going out into eighth grade, where we were still in the pandemic, it so happened they were putting together little teams and shit like that. He ended up getting on what was supposed to be his middle school team, his eighth grade team, but it was more like a put together team. They were just doing some shit, trying to get back in the groove of things, and they didn't like him again. And it wasn't because of his skill set. He didn't fit. He didn't meet the physical requirements. He didn't meet the appearance. He didn't pass the eye test. And when he heard that a whole lot, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, them last 3 years, them 7, 8, 9th grade year, he didn't pass the eye test. He wasn't super duper fast. He wasn't jumping out the gym. He didn't have the best crossover in the world. He didn't fit the eye test. Now, what a lot of coaches knew that played, that coached against him, that coached with him, what a lot of players knew that played with him and played against him was like, Lil Dog is one of the best shooters in the city. They know that. If you actually played against them, you know you can't leave them open. If you actually coached to play with them, they all give them the ball. They know that. And he had to go through that 7th, 8th, 9th grade. Folks didn't like how he looked. And me being the supportive daddy, me being his coach, me being his shot trainer, I used to see my son with a little look on his face like, they don't like me. I used to have to tell him like, bruh, I feel you. They don't like how you look. They like your skill set. They don't like how you look. Because everybody need a shooter. Everybody need a shooter. Hell, when you look at the NBA now, that's all they do is shoot. Compared to my NBA when I grew up, all these niggas do is shoot. Speaking of which, the season starts tomorrow, October 21st. I'm tuning in. But all these niggas do is shoot. So I'm sitting there like, Lil Dog. For them to sit there and say they don't like you, that's because you don't fit the mold of the eye test. Because when you in these trials, when you in these practices and shit like that, you shooting the peel off the ball. You got in the gym range, and they know that. Because that's one of the first things a coach would tell me or tell his mom is like, he can shoot. We know that. He can shoot. I know that. But, here go the but. What's the but? He ain't fast. Well, I know that. He ain't got the best handle. I know that. He ain't jumping. I know that. But he can shoot. I know that. I'm not asking you to start him. I'm not asking you to put your whole team on his back. But I know you need a shooter. I know you need a shooter that got confidence. I know you need a shooter that got ice in his veins. I know you need a shooter that don't shrink when the lights get bright. That's my son. But because he don't pass the eye test, you don't want him on your team. Because then you don't want to be the coach that said, oh, you went and got the stocky little fat boy to stand in the corner. I heard the conversations over and over again. And no matter how good he shoot, they always told him the same shit. He don't meet the eye test. It hurts a little bit. There was time where my wife would tell him he need to quit. Like, man, I can't tell my son to quit. If he quit now, he gonna always quit. He ain't gonna never reach the potential to do anything if he always quit. Because somebody said no. So all I had to do was get him in the gym and like, all right, we're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep working. He played football. He didn't want to play football. Even when he got on the football team in 9th grade, that man played one game his first year. Played the first game of the season, then played no more that season. Now you had to hear this shit. Dad, why they won't play me? Dad, why? I'm like, bro, first of all, you're not a football player, you're a basketball player. So that by itself is evident. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I get you. You want to get out there, you want to learn and shit like that. They ain't putting them out there. Then he's like, Dad, I want to be quarterback. I was like, well, little dog, being a quarterback requires a lot. I'm like, is you gonna be able to do all that type of shit? I ain't never tell him he couldn't do it. And you tell little dog, is that you gonna be able to handle the requirements of being a quarterback? And he used to always tell me, I could do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you can't do it. I'm just telling you what it requires. I'm just telling you how much it takes to be a quarterback. It takes more than just a arm. You got to have your head in the game. You got to know who your hot receivers is. You got to know who to give it to at what point of the time. You got to know everything. I could do it, Dad. All right, cool. It took for the head coach to see him throwing a football after the football season was over in ninth grade to say, damn, you can throw. I always knew he could throw. Coach said, you want to play quarterback? Bam, he get his wish. He playing quarterback now. Now, as far as basketball, his ninth grade year, like I said, we were still in the pandemic. We were still trying to put together shit. It didn't go so well. So before his 10th grade year started, he was like, Dad, I want to play basketball. I'm like, okay, I ain't stop you from playing basketball. I said, now let's be honest though. Look at the basketball team. And I'm like, name me all the individuals on the team that's going to get minutes. And he started running down the list. I said, all right, you got about 9 individuals that you know finna get minutes in front of you. 9. And you got a couple of more that's going to get minutes. I said, so basically, you're going to be the 12th, 13th player on the team. Now, you can quit football right now. I said, you got what you want in football. You the quarterback. You got what you want. You the starting quarterback. You got what you want. But he wasn't the starting quarterback. He was a quarterback. They had another quarterback. But he had got hurt halfway through his 10th grade year, and little dog came in and played 6 games. But I told him, I said, you got the position you want in football, and you got a good chance to compete for the starting spot at football, at quarterback. Or do you quit football and focus on basketball 100% and don't get no PT? What you want to do? Little dog said there told me, I'd rather compete for the starting spot on a sorry football team than to ride the bench for a state runner-up. I said, okay. He did that in 10th grade and his 11th grade year. He was the starting. He shared time in 10th grade. He was the full-time starter in 11th grade at quarterback. In basketball, he was on JV 10th grade, 11th grade year. Now, mind you, again, in 9th grade, we didn't have a good JV team. We were still putting together shit because we were still coming out the pandemic. So when the 10th grade JV year, they finally had a good season. They finally was able to get teams, and we were trying to operate as normal. And Lil Dog was killing these folks in JV. Taxing them in JV. Every time I hear the coach talk, like my wife folks know the head coach and shit. And that's all they're like, yeah, he cold, he taxing him, he did. But he still can't get on the varsity team because there's so many players in front of him. 11th grade, taxing. Still can't get on the varsity team because there's so many players in front of him. His 12th grade year, they got a new football coach. The football coach told my son in summer practice, you is not my quarterback. You is not my quarterback. Literally told my son, you're not going D1 playing football. That's what he told my son. New coach sat there and told my son, there's no chance in hell he going to play football at D1 level. My son looked at him and said, I wasn't trying to play football on D1 anyway. So through the whole summer, in summer practice, my son shows up to every practice in the summer while his head coach is calling and telling him, you're not my quarterback. And my son will come home every day telling me the same shit. He don't like me. I said, well, little dog, if you're not his quarterback, where is his quarterback? Where is the quarterback that's going to take your place? He ain't got him. He can tell you what he want to tell you all day, every day. But until his quarterback walk in the door, you're the quarterback, regardless of what he say. His 12th grade year was his best year at quarterback, and they still didn't win a game. Individually, my son had his best year at quarterback, and they went 0-10. While facing a nigga telling my son every day he's not good at quarterback. But without my son playing, y'all literally couldn't do shit. Then leaving out of football season, going into basketball season, same thing. He finally on the varsity team, but they was like, yeah, we don't want to play him because of how he look. He ain't sloppy. He ain't just this big sloppy nigga running up and down the floor. Nah, he just stocky. I think he weighed himself another day, 5'11", 203. So coming out at 17 in his 12th grade year, he ain't 300 pounds. He's just 5'10", 5'11", 192. I think the biggest he was about 210. Stocky. But he can shoot. They ain't want to give him no minutes. Until Thanksgiving last year, they went out of town. They went to Illinois. And I don't know if a lot of boys got sick on the team or whatever, but he ended up having to start that game out of town. They had a little tournament in Rockford, Illinois. He got in there, he showed his ass. And he never gave up that starting spot going forward. And ended up being all region in the tournament, in the district tournament. And I hate to be long-winded about talking about my son and shit like that, but this goes to what I hear in these spaces when I hear these content creators, Red Pill and Manosphere content creator tell these, the message they put out is that because you don't fit an aesthetic, because you don't have a financial status, because you don't have an edge about yourself, you're not going to win. You don't fit. And me being a coach, me being a supportive dad, me coaching guys that got overlooked because of where they stayed and their financial situations and shit like that. They just wanted to play basketball and was told over and over again that they couldn't play because of whatever reasons. I took them in. And I used to tell them all the time, they're like, I'm going to prop you up like I prop my son up. I believe you can do this shit. I believe you can be successful. I believe you can win. Regardless of what anybody else tell you, you can win. And maybe that's why I go so hard. Even though I say I'm red pill adjacent, I believe in telling the truth. I believe that's why I go so hard at some of the rhetoric that gets spoken. It's because y'all literally telling these guys they don't have a chance. That they're not going to win. They're not going to be able to get a wife. They're not going to be able to have a roster unless they do this or unless they do that. And I'm like, bro, y'all literally setting these guys up for failure by calling and telling them they can't do it because of this, that, and the third. How would I look telling my son and my basketball players that they couldn't win because they wasn't dunking? They wasn't this, they wasn't that. How can I sit here and coach and motivate my team if I'm constantly telling them they can't do something? What type of motivational speaker am I? What type of leader am I? What type of coach am I? If I'm constantly telling my team, my players, that they can't do it, I'll be a terrible coach. That's terrible leadership. What type of motivation is that? Telling them that they can't do it because they ain't got no money. Tell them they can't do it because they're not 6 feet. They ain't got a six pack. They package ain't hanging all the way down to the floor. Or whatever other situation, whatever other requirement you say these guys need to get women that they don't have, that they just asked out. But you trying to motivate. You trying to educate. You trying to entertain while telling these men, these young men, over and over again that they don't have the requirements to get the women. Or telling these same young men they're trying to figure it out that because of the mindset of the women, you're not going to be able to get it. So just listening over and over again, it's like either they don't meet the requirements or because of the mindset of the women, you're not going to be able to do it. And because of the requirements you don't have, you're not going to be able to do it. But you're trying to educate and motivate men. You're trying to give advice to men. You're trying to help men become better men, but you're kind of telling them you're going to fail when it comes down to women. No matter what you do, you're going to fail. What type of motivational speaker is that? I thought a motivational speaker made speeches to get the team pumped up, to get individuals in the right mind frame to conquer the world. I thought that was a motivational speaker was supposed to do. I thought that was a good leader was supposed to do. Will pump up his team. Was able to fall on the sword when things got rough. Was able to have the vision and the insight to lead, to help them get through their dog times and shit like that. I realize a lot of y'all niggas ain't leaders. Y'all not motivators, not strategists. Y'all just niggas that got a microphone talking shit, profiting off of pain for your own pleasure, for your own bank accounts. Y'all don't care if these niggas win or lose, as long as they keep paying you. As long as they keep watching you, as long as they keep hitting that like button, as long as they send a little cash apps or super chats or shit like that, as long as they keep being beneficial to you, you don't have a problem sending them off a cliff. And what be so messed up about the situation? I be agreeing with some of the shit that y'all niggas be saying. I be agreeing with some of the shit y'all niggas be saying. The only problem I have is like y'all niggas be so extreme, like there's no chance for them to win. And I'm like, there's always a chance for them to win. There's always a chance for these young men to win. Y'all have it set up to where no matter what they do, they can't win. But what's your idea with victory? What's your idea of victory? Cause let's be honest, y'all value the box. Y'all value a woman looks more than y'all value anything else. That's your ultimate goal in majority of the cases. Like you just want to smash. That's it. That's it. And I'm been the firm, and I gotta tell the guy like, bro, if you got a trick off to get you some box, then go ahead. If that's your ultimate goal, no complaints. You ain't gonna hear me saying you bad. I'm just gonna say, well, hey, it is what it is. Now, if that's your only way to get it, that's a whole nother conversation. But any good investor, any good strategist has more than one way to skin a cat. Or in this case, more than one way to get a cat. That's just one of the weapons in your toolbox. Is you might spend a little money to advance the process. Same with simping. You might have to say a couple of shit. You might have to send some good morning texts here and there just to get a little box. I'm not against it. But if that's your only way of doing it, you a simp. Cause just like with tricking, it's same with sipping. When you do it so much and that's your only way of doing it, I can't respect it. You ain't got no other way of doing it. You ain't got no other options but to either be a full-blown simp to where you just the shoulder to cry on and the good morning queen every motherfucking day. And it might work sometime, but the majority of the time it don't work. If you want to buy some pussy, go ahead, trick off. I ain't got a problem. But if that's your only way to get it, then I'm like, well, bro, you really ain't talking about shit. That's the only way you're gonna do it. But to sit up here and tell these guys that they ain't gonna be able to get a woman, they're not gonna be able to get a wife. And if they do get a woman, if they do get a wife, a girlfriend, is that you're not gonna be able to put your foot down. You don't have no standards. It's happy wife, happy life, and you gonna do what she say do, or you ain't gonna be with her and shit like that. And then it's like, well, now you telling these niggas that they gonna have to cater. They gonna have to kiss a female ass so she won't go nowhere. So again, you're gonna tell these young men that they have to meet certain aesthetics and certain financial requirements to get a woman. And then if they do get a woman, now they gotta kiss the woman ass so she won't go nowhere. And y'all motivational speakers? Y'all the leaders of these young men? Y'all the teachers, the professors? Y'all done been through whatever y'all done been through in y'all relationships and with women? Whether you married or dating or got baby mamas and all that type of shit. And all you got to tell these young men that's trying to figure this shit out is that no matter what you do, you're going to always be the footstool when it comes down to women. You always going to be the footstool. You always going to be the bad guy. You always going to be the one that get fucked over. You always in the position of weakness when it comes down to women, according to some of your favorite content creators. And you have no other way of doing shit outside of being the sucker. No other way except being the sucker. You have to be the sucker. You ain't got no standards. You ain't got no say-so. You ain't got no power. That's what they tell y'all. over and over and over again. You have no say so, no power, no. You can't have standards, and you're telling these guys this over and over again, and the only thing you value is pussy. I have to go against all my nigga shit. I can't have standards. I can't be a man. I can't say no. All in the name of vagina. I have to go against who I am as a man just so I can get a little piece. Or I ain't gonna get none. That is the message that y'all sending these young men. Don't show no emotions. Don't spend no money. Be an asshole 100% of the time. There's no benefits. Do everything you doing. Do exactly what I tell you to do, just so you can get some box. And if the box good and she do 80, 85% of what you like, then get a relationship. Then get a relationship. But only after the box good. But even if the box good and she do so much, she follow your program a little bit, even with all that, you still can't say nothing. You still can't say nothing. You still can't do nothing, because if you say anything or you do anything, she gonna leave. I can't, excuse me, I can't sit here and do that. I can't sit up here and tell men that they have no shot. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't sit up here and tell men that they gonna lose no matter the situation. You're gonna lose. That's part of it. You're gonna lose. You're not gonna get every female that you like. That's part of it. You're not gonna smash every motherfucker that make your dick hard. That's part of it. You might spend some money and not go nowhere with the female. That's part of it. All the shit that these motherfuckers tell you is part of the same game niggas been playing for centuries. Now you want to come in and reinvent the wheel. Now you want to come in and tell niggas to stop taking L's. So you still taking L's. You gonna take an L. It's part of the game. You're gonna take an L. Whether you trying to find wifey or you trying to have a roster, you're gonna take L's. You're gonna take an L. That's why I say the shit I say. That's why I'm trying to help men become better investors instead of worse gamblers. Which is the reason for the topic of today's show. Why we like speculative women. Why we like them. Why we want to invest in these type of women that end up burning us in the end. Why? Why? And I know y'all like to use celebrities. One of the women that fit this mode of potential, Sweetie. You know, when she was rocking with Quavo, you see him on social media taking all these pictures and walking carpets and shit like that. They look like a good couple. Look like a good couple. And Sweetie always been a hoe. Let Chris Brown tell he was smashing on Sweetie while her and Quavo were together. Let certain people tell it. She the reason the Migos broke up. Well, at least Offset and Quavo stopped talking to each other. Stop fucking with each other because of her. And now she a yacht girl that then got up with this soccer star that's blowing the bag on. And according to the little madam or whatever, Maybach, whatever her name is, you owe the plug for hooking you up with the soccer star, and you don't want to pay up. Saweetie is one of them type of females. Since we like use celebrities to break down what women got going on in real life, Saweetie is one of them females. And got family members that got bread that gave her a push. She ain't had to struggle. She ain't had to do a lot of shit. She had a push. She had a machine behind her. Chloe Bailey. All she needed was a Beyonce co-sign for y'all to fall in love with her and her sister. All y'all needed was a Beyonce co-sign for her. Y'all in love with Chloe Bailey. Now y'all don't know if she crazy or not. And in some cases, y'all want to say, well, DDG did X, Y, Z, and y'all this and y'all that. How you know Chloe Bailey was never crazy? How you know Chloe Bailey ain't a lunatic? Ain't emotionally volatile? How y'all know that? How was your DDG fault? Because of the machine. What about Ice Spice? Where the fuck Ice Spice come from? To where she get the push she get from. At one point in time, folks said she was an industry plant. Cause just like Saweetie, I don't listen to Ice Spice music, but yet and still, she's always nominated for something. She's always got some type of shit going on. She always got some type of deal going on. And like, who are you for you to be in these positions? Who pushing you? Who's telling you that we need to follow? Who's telling us we need to follow them? Who's telling these men to follow women like this? The machine. The machine. Oh, and your favorite, Lori Harvey? Who tell y'all she a bad chick? The machine. The machine tell y'all that certain females are better than other females. Because the difference between a Ice Spice and a Lori Harvey and a Saweetie and a Chloe Bailey, between them and a Amber Rose and a Black China, is the machine. See, the machine was pumping up Amber Rose and Black China, but it wasn't the social media machine. It was videos and magazines and shit like that that put them on top. See, they caught the tail end of the social media shit. But the ones I just named, nah, they pretty products of the machine. They're purely products of good marketing. Making sure they got the right angles and in the right spots at the right time. So y'all will sit there and say, she one of them ones. She got potential to be wifey. She got potential to be great. But just like with Chloe Bailey, we saw the crash. Just like with Lori Harvey, we see her with certain individuals and they're thinking, no, she by herself. And like I said with Saweetie, you a yacht girl now. All these women that y'all in love with are products of the marketing machine. Social media is the funnel that sends you to whatever they do. The IG models, the OnlyFans models, the marketing, the brand deals. You seen them everywhere. Connie telling you that they the shit. Connie telling you over and over again that she might be one of the ones you need to invest in. You need to get you one. You ain't seeing no red flags. You don't see none of the bullshit. You might hear a little shit here and there in the media and this, that, and the third, but you don't really see nothing. That's the only difference between them and a sexy red. You'll see the bullshit sexy red do. There's a difference between a sexy red and a Glorilla. You ain't got a problem with sexy red and all her bullshit. You ain't got a problem with Sukiyana. They ain't shit. And you know they ain't shit. And they marketing machine is what it is. They push it out, but it ain't at the top of the level like a Glorilla, a Megan Thee Stallion, a Cardi B. The ones y'all don't like. The ones y'all always keep in your mouth and shit like that. They ain't got no machine. Or the machine ain't pumping them up like the other machine doing. And that's why you like them. That's why you like the women in your everyday existence that fit the description. Because the neighborhood and told you she one of them ones because of where she come from and what she doing in life. But secretly she ain't shit. A lot of high highs and a lot of low lows. Cause when you up, you up. You profiting. You're making money. But when you're low, you bankrupt. You crashing. And y'all still falling in love with them. Because of that, the excitement. When she hit the text message and tell you what's up, you miss me. You know you miss her. Because when you with her, you hear butterflies. I mean, you hear birds singing and get butterflies in your stomach. You feel some type of way when she hit you up after being AWOL for 3 months. You feel some type of way. She want to get back in your good graces. And you're going to let her get back in your good graces. Because when y'all right, y'all right. And you like that feeling. You like how that make you feel. You seen how Michael B. Jordan was smiling when he taking pictures with Lori Harvey. You seen how Quavo was smiling when he taking pictures with Saweetie. You seen how DDG was looking when he was taking pictures with Chloe Bailey. They happy as a motherfucker because them women made them feel good. Made them feel like they ain't make a bad decision by picking them and shit like that. But deep down inside, they knew them females wasn't shit. But because of the marketing machine, because of the marketing strategies, you had no choice but to get her because it looked good on your arm. It looked good for publicity. It looked good for likes and views. It's the same facade that they use with politicians and men in power. It looked good to have a certain type of aesthetic on your arm, help you get votes, even though she might not be worth a damn. She look good. It'll help your brain grow. That's what that shit is. It'll help your name get a little bit bigger. But when that shit come crashing down, the same nigga that smiling in them pictures now gotta look at you and like, you didn't see this shit. You didn't see the red flag coming around the horizon. You didn't see him when you first started talking to him. You ain't had a little inkling that she might be with the shit when you first started talking to her. Like, did nothing cross your mind, or was you just so mesmerized and hooked on what the machine told you to be hooked on that you didn't give a damn? Which one is it? Either you were blind to the fact of some of the bullshit she had in store, or the machine told you to overlook it because it's gonna help your brain by having her on your arm. Which one was it? Is you just dumb, or do you need the push? Which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? Now, I'm not gonna be the guy to tell you you're wrong for dealing with these type of women. I ain't gonna tell you that. I ain't gonna tell you you're wrong for dealing with a penny woman, a little straight 304. I ain't gonna tell you you're wrong. I ain't gonna tell you you're wrong for dealing with a Lori Harvey or a Sweetie. I ain't gonna tell you you're wrong. What I'm gonna tell you is like, change up your strategy. Ain't nothing wrong with investing a little bit into them type of females. Ain't nothing wrong with this shit. I advise you to keep a few of them on your roster if you just jumping from female to female. I advise you to keep a few on in tuck if you looking for the one. I'm always gonna tell a young man to diversify his portfolio. I'm always gonna tell a man to explore his options. Because regardless of what some of these individuals tell you, every nigga got options. Every man got options. What you trying to do with your options? Is you trying to be married, or you trying to be a playboy? What you trying to do with your options? Keep them on tuck. Keep them on standby. Keep them around. And if you trying to find wifey, guess what? She'll cut herself off. She'll cut herself out because somewhere along the line, if you standing on business, if you got your standards, and you know what I'm saying, you actually got a backbone when dealing with women, and she want to run you over and make you a pushover, you ain't going. Guess what? She'll cut herself off. She ain't got time to be around you if you ain't gonna let her have her way. If you standing on business, she'll cut herself off. She gonna go somewhere where she can be in the spotlight, where she'll make you feel good, where she can run shit. She'll cut herself off. if you trying to have a roster of women, guess what? She be there. And if you need to get a little push, you'll show out, you'll pop out with her. You'll take a few little pics and put them on IG or whatever the case may be. You'll pop out with her. You might get a little box here and there, you know what I'm saying? You'll get it. But the key is not to put everything into her. Don't put everything into them type of women. They look good. And some of them can be great. Some of them do got potential. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. Have fun with them. Enjoy that shit. But again, don't invest everything into that type of woman. Give her all your capital. And then when it crash, you want to blame her for crashing. I'm like, bro, you invested everything in her. That was foolish. You put everything into that woman. That was dumb. Now the market crashed and you lost. Now you want to blame her for losing everything. When I just said invest some of that shit. Don't invest everything, invest some of that shit. And enjoy the return. Whatever little return you get from these type of women, enjoy it. It might be more down the pipe. It might be no more down the pipe. So just enjoy whatever you get out of them. And if it lasts forever, it lasts forever. If it don't last forever, hey, it was what it was. It was fun while it lasted. Anyway, what time is it? It's 1:30. I'm gonna get on down. I appreciate everybody that came through. Hit that like button if y'all ain't hit it. Hit that share button if you haven't already shared it out. And also hit that subscribe button. And I will talk to y'all good people later.
All work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for wherever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly too close to the sun, your body chopped up by propellers. Came in arrogant, but left out in a stretcher. Fuck the comparison, y'all know y'all couldn't replicate it. Chilling in the desert, I'm good under pressure.
Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found.
This a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles.
From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down.
That's the crown on me, wear it proud, show 'em what we bout.
Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found.
So this a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles.
From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down.
That's the crown on me, wear it proud, fuck what they was talking about. All work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for wherever, I'll be front and center. Quick to sever, however, whoever. Raining from above, we shooting down through your umbrella. Ay, getting fed up, nothing you could tell us. Snapping every shot I take, just wait till it develops.
Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found.
This a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles.
From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down.
That's the crown on me, wear it proud, show 'em what we bout.
Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found.
Said this a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles.
From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down.
That's the crown on me, wear it proud, fuck what they was talking
Stick
about.
around when we hold it down, look at what we found. From the ground with me to the clouds, never